This is day one of Reboot and Thrive. Thank you so much. I was just here stretching out, getting ready, power pose. Here we are, ready to go. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Christopher Nelson. I'm the principal and co-founder of Wealthward Capital. Wealthward Capital helps technology employees and entrepreneurs diversify into commercial real estate. My wife, who's also a part of this, you'll be meeting her in some of these sessions, is the co-founder and principal of Wealthward Realty, where she is helping technology employees buy investment properties directly, and then also helping people relocate from the Bay Area and buy homes. So that's who we are and what we do. But this session, right, Reboot and Thrive, Reboot and Thrive. This is something that we put together very quickly. I want to give a shout out to Amber Vilhauer, who is a coach, a mentor, a friend of mine who really inspired me and said, now is the time to find your voice and to communicate, to your audience, to your people, to your friends, and really reach out. And so my ask of you right now is if you can start some watch parties, or you can actually like Wealthward Cap at Facebook, that would be phenomenal. So where are we? Like right now, we are at a point in time, a point in history that I've never seen before. And I don't think that we've seen before on this planet. This, global pandemic has everyone in a shelter in place mode. We're all in our homes, we're together, we're confined, we're compressed. And, some people have lost jobs. Other people are working in brand new environments at home, and they're very remote. And this is a new environment for all of us. And so putting this on is incredibly personal for me and for Regine. And we want to share that with you first so that you really understand why this is so important for us and why we're so focused on bringing this value to you. So Wealthward Capital, when we built this brand, it really came to embody for us. We wanted to really help people build wealth, live well, and make an impact. We wanted people to be able to live extraordinary lives and do that though in a way that they're taking care of themselves, and then they're also giving back, because that's truly the way that we wanted to live. And so for myself, I got that way because of my experiences. And so what I want to share with you is a little bit of my story, and this is going to lead into my why. At the end of the day, we're here to serve you, but I think it's important that you get a little bit of the background. In 2001, I graduated in June from UC San Diego and went up, secured apartment in the Bay Area, because at that point in time, it was the dot-com boom, it was still the boom in July of that year. So I paid high dollar for an apartment. I went to go take an amazing trip to Australia and Fiji. And then when I was in Fiji, 9/11 happened, which at that point was the worst thing that we could imagine, was 9/11. And I remember watching on the television, small TV, in this beautiful tropical place, the horrific things that happened to our country. And I thought, I just really want to get home. I got a call soon after that said, well, the job that you'd been waiting for went away. So I had no job. I already had the expensive apartment, and it wasn't, but maybe a month or two later that then my girlfriend at the time left me as well. So I was rock bottom, right? And this was, at that point, it was one of the worst financial events of our time. And I had, no job. I had a high cost apartment that I had to pay for, signed a year lease. I was probably 3 months into it. And the girlfriend just left me, and I didn't have a dog or anything at that time. But what happened is my close friends leaned in, and they walked into my apartment. They, broke down the door and they said, you can't get stuck here. You cannot get stuck in this place that you're in. You have to move. And so that saw me move, that saw me get back into motion, that saw me, get employed in technology. It took me, so that was September. I didn't start until May of the following year. So it took me around 7 or 8 months before I actually got gainful employment. So I had to make things work. That's a whole other story. Had a nice portion of my career as a technology consultant. I actually went and built 2 businesses in this, Robert Kiyosaki model. I had 2 thriving smoothie bars in Arizona. And then in, 2008, 2009, that financial crisis hit, and we had to shut down those businesses and give those back to the banks. And at that point in 2009, I thought, okay, I'm going to start working for startup companies. And I chose poorly that first time out. So I was working for a boss where the relationship was not the greatest. So I was getting an ulcer. I was broke, but I met the woman of my dreams, who is Regine Nelson, who you'll get a chance to meet here later. And what she told me is, you can't get stuck. You cannot get stuck right now. You have to move. You have to move forward. Here we are in 2020. Regine and I are residing in Austin. We have 2 businesses that we're working hard to keep moving, and we're going to tell you part of that, and we're going to share all of that experience with you so that you can learn from that, what we're doing to keep things moving. We have 3 boys, we have 3 acres, and we have 33 chickens. And that's all true. And I don't know how the 3 thing came together, but we're doing okay. We're doing fine. And what I realized, what Regine realized, and what I was encouraged to do is, you're feeling fine now. You need to be that friend, and you need to go to, your people, technology employees, entrepreneurs, friends, and family, and say, now is not the time to be stuck. Now is not the time to be stuck. In fact, now is the time to move into action. Now is the time to move forward. And so that is truly the base of this series and the why behind this series. And my ask of you, as we're shaping this out, and I'm going to tell you, we have next week planned, we're planning out week 2 and 3. The action to you today, don't get stuck, is tell us, what do you need? What do you want to hear from us? What's important for you? Because we have a network, we can bring in, people to speak into different areas and to really walk us through this reboot. And so, as I mentioned before, our businesses are built, and we speak to technology employees. I love technology's employee. I've been a tech employee for a number of years. Regina's worked in tech, and we love technology employees because tech employees eat fire on a daily basis. That's sort of the analogy I have in my head. And people will say, whoa, that's strange. But tech employees, they have to solve difficult problems with a complex set of tools. That's just a given. They also have high customer expectations, whether that's internal customers, if you're working in an internal department or externally. People expect a lot of their tech, and they have to do it at speed. And that's the baseline. That is really, that's the cost to actually walk in the door. And then on top of that, they're dealing with systems outages, or they're dealing with, people that are getting burnt out. Technology employees work very, very hard. And we know that right now, you're in environments that you're not used to. And there's an opportunity to choose, what lens do you put on? Do you put on the, this is the problem lens, or do you put on, this is the opportunity lens? And so I think the analogy, so that we put together, and I'll give credit to my sister Amanda. I know that you're watching. So she was the one who gave me this analogy, and I took it and I ran with it. I took it and I ran with it, probably like I did with toys when I was younger, is reboot. So when a system goes through a hard crash, it crashes, it just shuts off, right? Is it the blue screen of death, and you have to press the button, or the spinning wheel, or Macs will just, boom, they'll just shut down. It happens. It's out of your control. You can't do it. The system just shuts down. As the system is rebooting, it goes about rebuilding itself. While it's rebuilding itself, it has the opportunity to, number one, remove the cache, right? It empties the cache. It takes care of what's in the memory that I don't need anymore. What can I get rid of? Is there an opportunity right now to get rid of some ways of thinking or challenges that we've had that we can actually get rid of? We can actually bring in new code, right? It's an opportunity where it goes and looks out and says, well, wait, what's new code as I'm rebuilding myself? Can I bring in something new right now to rebuild with? And then it gets compressed, right? Files get compressed. We're all, in our homes, whether we're in apartments in the city or we're in houses, in communities, or, we're out in the sticks. Like, we are here in our homes and we're feeling compressed. But that is the reboot analogy. And we're here to walk you through a reboot that gets you to thrive right now. And we're looking in this series to make sure that we're putting in front of you people, myself, experts, that are going to walk you through different things that are going to give you action items that you can do every day. And if you do that, and we're here to encourage you to do that, to make change, to move forward, to not be stuck, different things will happen to you. And so this is where I want to make sure, let's take the opportunity to share this. You can actually go and, start watch parties on your video. You can actually repost this link, but we really want to get this message out as we're walking through this. And so let's talk a little bit about what are these weeks going to look like. So we're actually going through the weeks in build wealth, live well, make an impact. I believe that right now, and all of these things are based off of, my experience of not getting stuck, those big events in my life, choosing not to get stuck, choosing to do things differently when I had those lows in my life, have led me to where I am now. And this is the time, believe it or not, that you want to look holistically at your portfolio, at how you've structured yourself, and you want to get in there and you want to take stock of everything, because the opportunities to change what you're doing and to garner success, to find opportunities, is coming around the corner. And now is not the time to be stuck. Now is the time to prepare. And the first thing is taking stock. So next week, it's going to be a week of discussing how we manage, protect our portfolio, and we prepare for the next opportunities. And every one of these speakers that I'm going to bring in Monday is going to be myself, and I'm going to be talking about your portfolio review. So I have been, a finance geek, personal investor, since the 90s. And I want to show you everything that I've done and everything that I'm doing right now to review my portfolio and prepare myself for what's next. On Tuesday, I'm going to bring in Regine, and she is going to talk to you about your active portfolio. So if you have single family homes, if you have Airbnbs, if you have duplexes, quadplexes, she is going to talk to you about what's happening in the market right now, like real time, like what's going on, because she's still transacting. She is doing a lot more virtual tours, but there are people transacting right now. But then she's also been putting together a list of how do you need to proactively go out and be calling your portfolio, understanding what's happening, and preparing that portfolio for what comes next. Because what we're experiencing right now is not normal. This is not a normal recession. The normal recession does not hit the $3 million job loss in a day. It doesn't. Day 3, so Wednesday, Vineet Prasad of Savers Academy, who has become a great friend of mine over the last few months. We met him. He is a guy, worked in technology, lives still in the Bay Area, and he's created a business to coach people on how to manage their expenses and cash flow so that they can save and be ready to invest. He's a financially independent focused person like myself, and he's got great expertise in this area. You guys are going to get a ton of value, and he is going to give us some action items that we can do right now that says, okay, how do we actually do a financial detox on our expense line? Because that's what we should be doing right now, moving quickly. Thursday, I've got John V, my good buddy. You're going to get a kick out of him. I can't pronounce his last name. It's Greek. It's really long. That's the first thing that we're going to have him do. But John V is the co-founder and CEO of Agent Risk. Agent Risk is an advanced robo-advisor, and he and his team have been putting together a series of webinars of how people need to dig in right now and really focus on their stock portfolio and think about steps that they're taking, whether that's in a stock portfolio that is not in retirement, and then also looking at your IRAs and 401ks, and what are steps that you need to be doing right now to, assess it and understand what you need to do moving forward. And so he's going to be here to talk about all things stock portfolio. On Friday, the privilege for a mentor and a business partner, Joe Fairless. Joe Fairless runs one of the most well-known podcasts in real estate investing, the best ever, real estate investing advice show, otherwise known as the best ever podcast. And then he also has a portfolio of $900 million in real estate in which we're partnered in some. And he is going to talk to us about what's happening in the multifamily market, strategies that he's implementing right now to weather the storm, and then what he's broadly seeing out there, because he's incredibly connected as well. So that's a lot, and that's week number one. And so week number one is going to be focused on the build wealth. Let's dig in. Let's not be shy. Let's look at our portfolios. Let's look at our financial situation. Let's take stock. We're putting together the list for Live Well. Live Well is really going to be in this new home, in your working environment, and living with family close together, how you thrive now. And I'm going to blow you away with the guests that I'm going to bring in, because we're going to be talking about how do you plan food for the week? How do you really go from, okay, wait, we're ordering out, or maybe we have Blue Apron, to, okay, now actually I'm sending one person out and they're in a sterile suit, they're bringing back groceries, and now we have to prepare this for the week. How do we do this? How do we think about that when that has not been part of our DNA? And then how do we actually think about our dinner table and our family thriving? Because in this reboot, there's an opportunity to do things differently, and some of the things we always wanted, right? I know that when I was commuting to and from San Francisco and had an hour commute, I always thought, gosh, I would love to have more time at the dinner table with my family and just hanging out and talking and see the crazy, silly things that my kids do. Well, let's talk about how you actually create that environment and what are the steps you need to do to have that thrive. Let's also talk with a homeschooling expert. Let's talk with somebody who has been in the trenches of homeschooling and understand what that takes to really manage that with your kids, and then also with working parents. Let's put together a schedule. Let's talk about that. And let's give you guys, again, actionable advice. We're also going to be bringing in, a fitness coach, somebody who's a trainer, a gym owner who understands how do you need to train yourself and take care of your body and your mind right now. And that's week two. Week three, make an impact. We're going to be talking to leaders and leadership people around mindset. Okay, how do you need to change your mindset? What are things that you need to be doing to preparing yourself to move forward? And so these are 3 weeks that we have planned. My ask to you, the action today is this. Number one is either comment on, the feed. What are things that you want to hear about? What are things that are important to you? How are you stuck right now? How can we help you? Because you have our full attention. You do. We're here. We're working hard, but we have time, and we want to be able to lean into you and bring together experts to help you. So how can we help? And if you don't feel comfortable with the feed, you can actually PM me at Christopher Nelson. You can find it through the links there. I'm on the Wealthward Capital page. The other ask is that you just share this. Like, this is for everyone. We want to give this away. We're not asking for anything. Our goal right now is to lean in and help. And the reason is this, is because I realized this. I think it wasn't in 2001 that I realized this. I felt incredibly vulnerable in 2001. I felt very exposed. I didn't have a job. I wasn't seasoned in tech. But when I got seasoned in technology, I realized, number one, that I was incredibly blessed, and I had a skill set that people really needed through upturns and through downturns, right? People need your skills. And those companies now need people that are remote. So there's an opportunity for technology employees to keep moving forward through this with employment, with gainful employment. And then I also realized that there's an opportunity in each of these dips to, really pick myself up off the mat and to come out of this better than I was before. And that happened both times. Both times I thought, okay, this is it. Like, this is my life, and I don't know if it can get much better. But because people leaned in, and they helped me, and part of that is believing in me. Part of that is taking the level of effort. And the reality is that a lot of people on this feed, I know you. I know you. I do. And I also know that we are stronger together and we can do this. And so please let me know what you want to hear. Today, just a short 20-minute one, a lot of me talking, but I thank you. I appreciate you. And I just want to give all my gratitude. Thank you for all the encouragement from my wife, from my sister, from my parents, from my boys, from Amber, from everyone in my real estate community, encouraging me to go online and do this. And we're here for you. Thank you so much.